What's going on, guys? So continuing on the series of products that you may have never known even existed for all sorts of different applications, from tools to towing to trucks. You know, eTrailer sent me another box. So this is a box of goodies. And basically what we're doing here is this is a collaboration between my channel and eTrailer, who's my official channel sponsor. And we're showcasing products that eTrailer carries that you may have never even heard of before. Things that accomplish tasks that make your life a little bit more convenient. And it doesn't have to all be about RVs. Now, some of this stuff is absolutely going to apply to RVs. A lot of it's going to apply to trailers, towing in general, trucks, accessories that you might want to add to your vehicle. So this is going to be a really cool series. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. Hang tight. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my fuel area, right? I have all sorts of different fuel cans. I have some Sure cans, which are absolutely amazing. These are super cool because they have this innovative spout that you simply put inside of whatever you're filling up, and then a trigger up here to be able to fill it up. It makes the process of adding fuel to lawn tractors and other equipment very, very simple, or even a generator, right? You can quickly add fuel through the spout. But a lot of people have tons and tons and tons of these fuel cans, which is your traditional 5-gallon fuel can. And you can see I have another one over there that has a different type of spout at the end of it. But these are very common and they're not inexpensive. So if you've paid $25, $35, $40 for these, and you don't really want to go and spend money on these, perhaps you're looking for a solution that can turn these into a really, really great fuel transfer system. Okay, so what you were looking at are two products from a company called TeraPump. My channel sponsor eTrailer provided these so I could show these to you as really cool, solutions to problems that perhaps you didn't even know you needed. Now, this is really cool because this is a transfer pump. This attaches to the top of a 5-gallon container or a 5-gallon fuel can. This is the transfer pump with the racing jug. So this actually has the 5-gallon container included. And the price difference between these two, it's not that dramatic. It's about the cost of the 5-gallon container, which is really nice because this now gives you the ability to fill up your equipment from a 5-gallon jug you may already have. So there's a lot of really great fueling products that are available to fill up your tractors, to fill up your mowers, to fill up your generators, your toys, all sorts of different things you might have, or even your vehicle if you need to bring extra fuel with you. What's so special about this is the fact that it makes the process much, much cleaner, much more simpler, and more, convenient. That's probably the key here. Now, the other nice thing about this is the fact that people probably own a ton of these 5-gallon containers for fuel, and you typically just have your typical spout. So let me show you something. Okay, so I've unboxed the jug and the pump, and I've partially unboxed this because I want to explain what's going on and what's included here. But first, let's talk about the jug. First of all, it has a standard gas cap at the top here. And I say standard, but it's not. This thing is like super robust. The thing's huge. And the hole is enormous. I mean, you can't even really compare the two. I could probably put this entire assembly inside of here. The jug itself feels very, very strong. Very, very nice jug. And the top simply locks on. Very, very cool. So this right here is the jug that you get with the TeraPump. I love it. And I love the form factor as well because it takes up a smaller overall footprint than this right here, and you can probably tell it's a little taller. So instead of going out and wider, they go up taller with this thing. But that's really nice. And it comes with this piece right here. So once you take this cap off, you put this cap on, you insert the pump in, and basically you just screw this to the top of that. So if I were going to put this together, I would take this pump, I'd wind it in, I'd put this on top, and I'd probably put this on top first, actually. Like that. I'm sure that's what it's going to tell me I need to do. So first you want to put the new cap on, and then you're going to take this piece right here, drop it in. Check that out. And then you simply put some batteries up top here. Looks like 4 AA batteries. So just put your 4 batteries in there. And now you have a really cool electric pump on a 5-gallon jug. So this is the all-inclusive setup. And I'll probably transfer the fuel from here to here in a second so I can kind of demonstrate how the system works. But that's really cool. So We know the pump works. We've used these in the past. Fixes to the top of your 5-gallon jug, and then you're pretty much ready to go. Okay, so they do have some precautions on here that we do want to look at. First of all, they say you want to use it on an even surface, which makes sense. Make sure the pump is tightly secured to the tank. Make sure that the sensor on the discharge nozzle is vertical. It may not stop automatically if it's not. So this has an automatic stop feature, similar to a gas pump at a fuel station, right? So whenever it gets to the top, there's a sensor right there, and that sensor detects when the fuel is full, and or at least when fuel is touching that, and then it shuts off. So I believe what they want you to do is to make sure that this is going in like that. I'm not 100% sure if that's feasible all the time. For like mowers and things like that, it probably is. But if you're putting fuel in like a vehicle, that's probably not going to be feasible simply because you have to put it sideways. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that. And then they also say to make sure that you remove any leftover fuel in the pump after each use. It can cause a failure if fuel remains in the pump around the sensor. Also, make sure that you detach the tank from the pump when moving it or storing the tank. It may cause fuel to leak if moved while it is attached. So yeah, you definitely want to heed those warnings. What I'll probably end up doing is when I'm not using it, I'll go ahead and take this off and I'll put this back on, just for the point of you know, preserving the pump, making sure that it's not constantly submerged in fuel the whole time. And it also gives me the ability to get the fuel out of this hose. It's really just a hollow hose, so it's not going to be under pressure, but you're probably going to just want to lift it up and let it gravity feed back into the tank. So very, very cool product. Absolutely love it. Let's take a look at this product real quick. Okay, so I've already unboxed it. This is super cool. This is just the fuel transfer pump, and this is designed to go on top of a fuel can. And what's nice is the fact that it actually has 3 adapters, which will probably fit, I'm guessing, most fuel cans, but we'll definitely check to be sure. And then we have our pump, which again takes 4 AA batteries. So you can simply open that up. That's where your batteries go. And let's get this opened up so we can see which one of these will actually fit our 5-gallon fuel can in front of us. Okay, so that one kind of looks like the right size, but so does this one. Let's try this one first. That one fits. This one probably is too big. Yeah, that one's too big. Okay, so this one fits. Don't know if there's a rubber ring or anything that goes in there. It doesn't look like there is. So there's no rubber gasket or anything. You just simply tighten this down on top. And probably doesn't really need to have one simply because you're going to be pumping the fuel out. You're not necessarily pouring this like you might typically. So this obviously is for a much larger fuel can. And then you'll take the pump and put it inside. Let's throw some batteries in here first so this is all complete before we put it inside of the fuel can. Okay, so you're aware batteries are not included with either of these. So whether you get the one that includes the pump and the fuel can or you just get the pump, batteries are not going to be included. You'll have to go out and buy some AA's. Put the cap back on. All right, so we are going to drop this into the tank in real time, hopefully. So we need to take out the part that I forgot to take out, because it ain't going to fit if you have this little filter in here. Yeah, that was something I hadn't thought of. Just throw that in the box for now. All right, now let's put our adapter back on. And then this should just drop inside. There we go. And we're going to screw this down tight. Okay, so we should be ready to go. And what I'm going to do to demonstrate this, I'm going to pump fuel out of this container and into this container. Okay, now I have them both on the ground. This has this cool little clip right here, so I can actually clip it around the edge like that. Let's turn it on. Oh, check that out. That is super cool. And it's a good amount of fuel that's coming out too. That is awesome. So yeah, I basically converted an old fuel can, which I probably need to replace because after a while they start to leak a little bit around the handle right here, and this one is doing that now. So this is actually a perfect opportunity for me to get rid of this one, put all the fuel in here without having to pour it. Now, I know pouring it from here to here probably wouldn't be that big of a deal for most people. There's a lot of people who have mobility issues, a lot of people who can't lift super heavy stuff, and it's just not practical or safe for them to do this. So to have a pump that can attach to the top of a fuel can and transfer fuel over from, you know, their fuel can to whatever they need to put it in, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's a generator, whether it's a lawnmower, pressure sprayer, or whatever else it may be, this is a really, really convenient way of doing it. I really think that this is a super innovative solution that, honestly, I think this is easily chalked up as one of the best solutions for the average person to own at their home. Very, very cool. Yeah, I honestly feel that this is one of those solutions just about every homeowner would have a need for. Not just homeowners, but RVers, maybe people who work in a trade, a construction trade, something like that. Lawn care, landscaping companies. Wow, and it's already done. Check that out. Almost done. You gotta figure out where the pump is, but you can see that we're already finishing off, and this is already pretty much full. See if I can move it around a little bit to get any remnants of fuel out. Check that out. This is just super cool. I gotta admit, one of my favorite innovative products that I didn't even know existed. I get excited about some of this stuff sometimes when you find something that cool. All right, so I went ahead and turned it off. I'll show you here in a second how much fuel is left in that tank. But to give you an idea of price, this setup is a little over $100 if you want it with the tank and the pump. A little over $100. The fuel can itself is probably a $50, $60 fuel can. So to get the pump and the fuel can together for a little over $100, I think is actually a killer deal. If you just want the pump to attach to a jug, it's going to be a little over $80. So in my opinion, if you have a ton of jugs, if let's say you're a lawn care landscaping company or a pressure spraying company or really a number of different types of companies, a construction company that has portable generators, and you have a ton of these tanks already, then just get the pump. That way you can just move it from one tank to another tank to another tank, and you don't need to worry about it. If you need new fuel cans in general, like I do, then get the pump and the tank. And the tank feels so much more robust than this tank. I mean, you can probably tell just by looking at it. Look at the edge. This is just a very, very well-built fuel tank, and I love it. So super, super cool. Love this product. It easily is probably one of my favorite featured products because of what it does for you and how convenient it can be for you, and just the fact that this is something just about every household could use. Okay. Just a little bit of fuel left in there. Sorry I wasn't more graceful. Let's see how much is remaining in here. I'm going to say maybe a cup. Maybe a little more than that. Not even that. Not very much. That did an absolutely fantastic job, and it was much quicker than I anticipated it would be, honestly. So really, really love how it works. Super happy with this. Definitely something I would recommend. Again, I'll throw a link in the description if this is something you're interested in. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.